Hi. Today I wanted to talk. I didn't plan on doing a video about this. It's an impromptu video. So I hope my voice is coming through. As you can see, I guess I look pretty good with my hair for an impromptu thing. Um, I felt stuck. Well, something triggered me yesterday. Yesterday evening, it was actually I was watching a New Heart episode, and I it reminded me of something unpleasant from my past, and so I don't want to go into what happened after that. So I woke up this morning and I had some plans for today, but I um I contacted a therapy counseling center that I've had counseling with before, and I'm not sure if I am discharged from there or not. But I would do these YouTube, not YouTube. I would do these video sessions, and sometimes over the phone. There was a therapist I was talking with, and um, there were a few problems that life issues I'm dealing with. This is drive me nuts. I know I can't save to Drive, Google Drive. All right, I need a new computer system. This is outdated. Anyway, I'm feeling out. It's one of those times when I'm feeling stuck, somewhat stuck. It's that there's a term for it. I'm not thinking straight. Physical, there's a term for it when you feel like feelings like an emotional when an emotional feeling is so strong, it feels physical to some extent, and I know there's a term for it. But I was feeling that in terms of being stuck or being just something. So I wanted to talk with you today about what steps I did take last night, and what I'm going through right now. Um, when I was triggered last evening, um, it was okay. I'll share with you what triggered it. I was watching a Newhart episode, and for those of you who don't know, Newhart was a very well done, clever sitcom starring Bob Newhart. He runs an inn with his wife, and there are a lot of very weird characters. In some sense, maybe I liken it to Seinfeld. Um, but anyway, there's one character that's very shallow. She's the maid. Her name is Stephanie, and there are three brothers: Larry, Daryl, and Daryl, and well, had an accident and needed blood, and so it turns out that these three woodsmen who are unshaven and unkempt or whatever, um, one of them, one of the Darrell brothers, happened to be the one whose blood she received. So she feels icky about it, and so she's all caught up in her own being pampered and in bed with the bell, and she commands everybody's attention with the bell and so forth. And then meanwhile, Daryl, one of the Darrell brothers, the one who donated blood, gave the sacrifice. And I'm gonna be, you don't know right here, but this Safari bookmark sync agent quit unexpected. I'm gonna keep clicking ignore. That just has been routinely happening, and I don't know. I need a new computer system. I need a new computer. I don't have the funds. But anyway, this is really annoying me. So anyway, he's altruistic. I mean, he's portrayed as altruistic, and he gave his blood, and she should be thankful and so forth, and she just doesn't acknowledge it. And that's what triggered it. Um, from my point of view, um, something from my past, some past experience, I've never been able to get not reconcile, finish, complete, and move on from that, even though I've tried and I've been very respectful and so forth. It's really annoying me. Um, and it reminded me about the lack, not that this other person reminded me of Stephanie. It's just the emotional situation of not having had those things acknowledged, the things that I did, acknowledged, and I cared and so forth, and feeling confused, mixed up, um, and just out of, just kind of torn asunder sounds too extreme. Um, just that it was never complete, and some of it carries emotional hurt, and um, I've never really received consolation from this other person. It was a little bit better, um, but I just been left with this, and I don't want it to affect my life now, and all sorts of things. There's a friend of mine who's dealing with something in his own life that, and he'll um, tell me about it, and that reminds me. It somewhat triggers this myself. I mean, this feeling akin to what he's going through. It's been a few years now that he's dealing with it, and this is really annoying me. Um, this pop up keeps putting up, and I have to click ignore. Um, and I'm dealing with that. I'm holding this in. I'm holding his stuff in. And being kind and listening to him, and I'm holding in my own hurt from years past, and I'm whole and there I was talking with when I would feel like this, I would text somebody who's known me somewhat well, and the person has said recently that the person has his or her own problems to deal with, and sorry, can't continue helping me. So I don't want to I don't want to burden anybody else. Um, so I listen, even though it hurts me. I listen to this friend of mine. Um, Warning: your connection is unstable. Please wait while we try reconnecting. Seriously, I need a new computer. Um, Hopefully this is going through. So I guess it went through. It vanished. So so with that, I sent him an I sent an email. I sent an email because I couldn't get through to, those lines. There's Dr. Laura and there's Dr. Joy Brown. Dr. Joy Brown I really liked, and there's Delilah, and there are these hosts on the radio that play music, and although Delilah plays music, but I remember Sally Jesse Raphael. Yes, she did have a radio show concurrent and before her TV show, talk show. But she would take calls and give advice, and so there's only Delilah. I used Claude AI to ask. I asked Claude AI if there's anybody else who with a show like this, and it said that Delilah is really the only one left. And I tried calling, and the phone lines were busy. I tried a few times; the phone lines were busy, so I emailed with my issue, and so I was listening on I was listening online because the radio broadcasting company, um, iHeartRadio, has a website, and so I was listening to that, and then something interrupted it, and I don't want to go into what interrupted it, but um, that was last night. Um, and I wish I could talk to the person from my past. Well, anyway, I'll get to that. So I was wishing that I could get this resolved, and I don't want to be a burden on anybody. I get this resolved and become unstuck. Have this stuckness removed, like kind of surgically removed or whatever. I have my other projects. I've been working on my Madonna screenplay, and I need to get back to that. And I got some nice news about um, my ambition to do female impersonation with music performance, my own music, and so forth. And somebody replied back. Presumably, I reached out to him because he'd be in a position to give advice or consultation on how I could go about doing what like Gray Phillips had done. And there's a Marilyn Monroe impersonator who impersonated Marilyn Monroe named Jimmy James and so forth. I want to do something like that because it'd be fun, and I enjoy illusion, and I think getting in touch with different sides and of myself and so forth. So it's like an urge. So why not? So, and I do have something to say, ideas to share with the world. Um, so the person responded, and that's nice. And I have this Madonna screenplay, and I really need to get to that. But today I'm still thinking about this, and um, I don't even remember what why I continued thinking about this. Um, I remember I was watching. I usually have YouTube playing while, and I was getting ready for something. I was fixing something while it was playing in the background, and I don't, for whatever reason, this lingering thing I'd been talking about from my past came back up. And it's not so much that I want to, uh, how do I put this? It's not so much that I want the earlier thing that I wanted, years and years and, decades ago. What I wanted then, it's not so much that necessarily. That would be really nice, but I just want this part fixed. And I feel like I can't talk to anybody about it. Um, because number one, like my close friend, um, does it gives kind of shallow advice. He can't really help me any further than just saying get on with it, or just he can't really help me. And his friends, um one would probably make fun, or they can't really help me. They don't know, they wouldn't know what to do. And the other friend or acquaintance or whatever who'd been helping me through it, sometimes when I feel triggered, I would text, and the other person would would say, I don't think you're hated. I don't think this other person hates you anymore, and so forth. Um, I can't talk to that person. So, because the other person has their own concerns to deal with. Um, so, and I don't want to write in a notes app, just write stuff for myself. Have you ever heard of this advice? Just write it down as a letter or something and not mail it to anybody. It's painful to regurgitate these details, and I don't want any further hurt or exacerbate um, this hurt feeling. Um, so I was on Claude AI. I asked Claude AI. I summarized a bit of what was going on. Again, it hurts when I regurgitate and remember this stuff in order to type out, summarize for the billionth time, it seems, um, what happened, and it agreed with me. Contact this therapy group, local therapy group. So I don't know whether I've been discharged. It's been a long while. See, when I was having sessions with the therapist, fortunately I was able to do it from home rather than driving, because at that point I think I was working, so I would have to drive all the way. Oh, I would end at 5 o'clock, and then sometimes I was in a call center working remotely from home. So um, and they close at 7 or something. So it'd be this big, and it would only be on Thursdays or Tuesdays and Thursdays that they were open late, past 5 o'clock. So it just so um it would be easier for me to have an appointment either talking on the phone or in a video chat. And so I think it's easier to coordinate with everybody if I did it that way. So that's what I had been doing. And so um there was more than just this thing from my past. There was my concern about being unemployed and underemployed and wanting something bigger in my life. That's why I had written this. I'm working on this Madonna screenplay, and I'd wanted to be a screenwriter, really a famous screenwriter, not just only for the fame, but it's my real true calling. And this person from my past supported it, and without giving away details. I don't think this would be really giving away a detail of her identity. She really supported me, and she was really kind. And um I know I'm jumping all over the place. I'm trying to be chronologically as linear as possible. So I just want to remember something about texting for later. So um I would be doing sessions with the therapist, and I felt stuck in life, and also um stuck with this experience that would be triggered periodically. And um those are the two primary things. And um I won't go into why I started the therapy. um I won't go into it. um but I just knew that it's been something that I've been going to several therapists, primarily because of this thing from years and years, decades ago, with this person. And I I just want to fix it, and I'm aware of this cliche about men being aggressive and so forth. And I'm not aggressive. I'm not shallow. I'm caring and compassionate and so forth. And I'm like that guy, the Daryl brother in that Newhart episode. I just want I wanted, like he gave blood. I just wanted to help somebody. Um and I felt hurt. And I wish the other person could be able to talk with me. Um and that's what I wanted like 30 years ago. And um more than 30 years ago, I guess now it's something, um 32 years ago. Um I I just never was able to get it then, and I got a smidgen of it. And I don't think the other person understands the extent of what I'm going through. And I'm not placing blame, and I'm not calling the other person whatever. I'm not yelling at the other person. I'm just saying that I'm hurt, and um and I was talking. So I called the therapy place, and the therapist that I typically work with, again, I don't know whether I was discharged already or not. She had said, well, I learned on the phone from the person that it's been since February that I had any session, or the last session was in February, I guess. So, and I thought I didn't really have anything further to talk about until this came up. So I called and found out the therapist is on vacation for a month, and so supervisor came on the line, and I talked with the supervisor and explained it all over again. Well, I mean, not all over, but I mean some of it over again, um, and she would ask, "Well, is there anything you can do to help this?" And it's like those mobile crisis sessions, the mobile crisis center lines, and I've called 888 something. I can't remember what the 811 or something other. And there's that, and then there's the mobile crisis line, and it basically it amounts to, "Hi, what's your problem?" And then I go into a vulnerable mode, and talk about what's been going on again and again. Each call, it resets itself, so you have to explain it all over again. And then the other person might as well be a robot. The person on the other line says, "I see. Is there any method you found to deal with this?" "No." "Oh, is it okay if we call again in 2 days to see if how you're doing?" "I guess so." So that's basically it. It's nothing. So, I used it, like, a couple times. I felt so stuck that, um, for a fleeting moment, periodically, sometimes I thought, like, you hit the power off button. You're in a Nintendo game, a video game, and I dated myself with the Nintendo. You're playing a video game, and you screw up or something. You just want to hit restart or just power off. So, I've had that fleeting moments sometimes, and just the thought of it, and then it goes away. But I know that's stupid. Um, so, like today, I had that thought for a moment, and a few times while I was talking about it or thinking about it, and I'm revealing a lot here. Being open a lot. So anyway, I might as well talk. Well, no, I don't want to reveal what the I'll say that this experience from my past partly inspired the Madonna movie project. But I don't want to go into, detail about the plot and so forth, what it's about. But that was one way of dealing with it. Um, and I don't know if anybody's really watching this now, but at least I'll be able to put it up on as a video and get my thoughts out that way. What was it? They used a term for it. The supervisor, who was like on call supervisor, asked me, what are there ways that I have found that help me with this, and I didn't mention you making these YouTube videos, but I realized afterwards that this is one way, and I've been out of work. I ate the last of my meat. Maybe nutrition has something to do with these feelings too. I have some money for a half gallon of ice cream, and I feel like I really want that. I've been feeling like, I want it, but I've been holding off, yesterday because it's only the midweek, and usually I buy ice cream at the end of the week, and I should do more exercise in the park, like usually doing walks again. Reinstate my walks. I used to do them at least twice a week. Um, but my car has a donut. The one of the tires is now that donut, and I don't want to put stress on the car if I can help it at all. Only I need money. I need money badly, and I called for unemployment. I called for food stamps or unemployment or whatever, and I couldn't get through to the unemployment office. Literally, I could not get through. And somebody said, somebody from I think it was the food stamp. No, no. So I called. That was a loser move to keep trying. So I contacted a state senator's office, and the person there, not the state senator, but the person there, said somebody from the unemployment office will get back to you in 10 to 12, or was it 12 to 14 calendar days? I think it was 10 to 12. I don't know. But I made sure to ask if it's calendar days or business days. That makes some difference. So I guess that's about 2 weeks, really, given, presuming that somebody really doesn't get back to me that soon. It's basically 2 weeks. So I guess I'm due for a call coming soon. And my AT&T phone bill hasn't been paid, and my landline phone is the only one that's working, and um, I I just need money. I went for a job interview yesterday, and it seemed to go well. Of course, you can't guarantee that. It's through a temp agency, but still you can't guarantee because she said she I think we had good rapport, but, she said she had other candidates to interview, so forth. So, I'm still applying for jobs online, using ZipRecruiter, and, I guess I might as well, since I already mentioned the Madonna screenplay. Sorry, I have gunk on my wrist there. That's why I keep checking that. I might as well mention Final Draft, because I'd mentioned my Madonna screenplay. Let me tell you, I'm a member of the Amazon Associate. I don't know if I'm still a member because I haven't done any videos using that Amazon Associate program. Um, but I wanna mention that, I've been using Final Draft. I used Movie Magic Screenwriter before. Now, what are these? These are, screenwriting programs, editing programs, because it's a lot of work just to get the screenplay, get the thoughts in your head onto a digital screen, and coordinate all of that, the outlining and the rough draft and so forth, and the treatments and so forth. So you don't want to have to deal with, um, the exact formatting issues. So there are programs like Movie Magic Screenwriter and here Final Draft 13. The 13 is the latest edition. Um, so I was able to do that online. I was able to pay for it online, and I've been using that. It's been really useful, very useful. Um, it keeps, you can see the script page is formatted so that you have the character's name in the exact center, and then below that you have the dialogue, and then um, the actions going on in the scene take up basically from the left to the right margins, and there are other formatting. Um, it's a template. They're formatting the page is formatted in an exact certain way, so that typically 1 minute equals one page in terms of screen time. Um, so Final Draft is the has been, from what I've read, the lead in terms of what people use, and you can use the Warner Brothers version of the script formatting page or other versions of it, but I just use the regular version. So there we go. So I've been using Final Draft, and there are other systems I've been using. Let me see what other. Um, I've been using Pages and for my script writing, for my outlining and so forth. I can cover that in a different way on a different video on how to create my videos. I use GarageBand for my music. Um, so maybe I'll put a link in to my Amazon Associates program just because I mentioned Final Draft. Um, I do get I want to make this clear. I do get some kind of a like a percentage or a bonus or something or other from people who I don't remember whether it's clicking on it or viewing, or if they have to buy it, but I do get some benefit from people looking into, in this case, Final Draft. So I should say that. So, um, so anyway, back to the real point of my video. I I just I really need, money. I'm down in terms of I need resources and funds and so forth. And if you want to go support me, like, maybe you've seen my past video about my hypothesis, my presentation about how the Torah was written, the five books of Moses. Um, who, and I want to get into this further, who possibly wrote them, um, how they're laid out, the hidden, and code isn't a good example of a word to use. It's more like intricate formatting. Maybe formatting is it. There are details beyond translations. In the actual Hebrew, it's more noticeable. Um, the formatting of the Torah um, gives clues as to this intricate design, the entire frame. And I'm doing this not because it's Christian or whatever. No, I'm Jewish, but um, so I know Hebrew. Um, but there's vertical and horizontal design to the Torah, the entire Torah. If you assemble all five books together, they form a vertical and horizontal crisscross. I want to say cross, but I don't mean Christian in any sense. I just mean literally there's a vertical and a horizontal intersection at Leviticus, with Leviticus in the center. So you can watch that video. So um, I want to get into, in future videos too, who possibly wrote it, why it was written, when it was written, how it was written. Namely, literally, I got into that video. In that prior video, I got into um, like where the rubber meets the road, where what materials did they have on hand? They didn't have computers, they didn't have erasers, they didn't have pens. What materials were on hand to literally write this stuff out? So I mentioned what materials they would have had, and I want to go into that further. Why certain verses appear the way they are, why the numbers are the way they are. I mean, literally, why Methuselah lived to 969 years old and so forth, and all that, and why certain names are the way they are and so forth, all that. Um, and I want to get into that in future. So I have this documentary. Either it's a documentary video I want to produce, or a book. But I have these podcasts that I really do want to produce. Further, they're the podcasts are set up. I just haven't been making more of them because I don't have the funding yet. I created a DBA for myself, um, and I created a professional email for myself, and I put in money towards this, and I set up website, vvproductions.media, and there's a store there. I'm using it in addition to, it's an adjunct to this YouTube channel. I use it for text explaining more things and so forth. Plus, it's a store, so you can go and buy sweatshirts. I think there's sweatshirts, t-shirts. There's a mug, and I forget what else. There's 7 things. I didn't want it to feature more than 7 things because perhaps that would be overwhelming. So according to guidance I found online, it's best to go with 7 things, and I picked some of the most popular types of apparel and things to buy. Um, and they at this point they have the logo of this YouTube channel with the genie and so forth. Um, so I want to look forward. I am looking forward. I want to do more with all these projects. I think this is one of the longest videos I've made. Gee Willikers. I bet you haven't heard somebody say gee Willikers in a long time, if ever. So nobody seems to be buying this stuff. And I guess I'm being completely open. Nobody's buying this stuff. If and when I do produce those 5 albums as my female alter ego, I want to put those albums on the site too to sell those. Um, um, I have ideas for books. I have ideas for screenplays and so forth. So I can get into that later. But I just so anyway, back to my original point, the primary point of this video. Um, that's where I am right now, and I guess I've talked about it enough that it's been more therapeutic than what I had, which was talking to somebody. So maybe this strikes a chord with you. Um, anyway, thanks. I'm gonna go, I guess, get my ice cream while I can, and it stopped raining coincidentally right now, and um, I'll talk to you next time. Thanks. Bye. Me go and end stream.